Is Adam Post, creator of College of the Dead, the zombie apocalypse graphic novel series, and publisher of more than 1,000 comic books, many, many comics there. And today, this is what it's all about. Death Sworn. I said it. I told you I was sworn. I am death sworn. I have Carl O'Rowe with me. I'm really excited about it. Carl, how are you doing, man?
Hey, thanks for letting me on.
Absolutely. A lot of people are excited about Death Sworn. I'm excited about Death Sworn. It has a really, really cool feel to it. I just want to get right into talking about you as a comics creator, how you first got involved in making comics, and is this the first comic you've ever worked on?
Well, I always made them, like when I was a kid, always made them, and then when it came time to like going into college, I was like, what am I gonna do? There's no college for comics,
Yeah,
and
well, there is the Joe Kubert Art School, and they do have a
yeah,
correspondence course. They actually,
yeah,
there's a
but
guy I worked with in Indonesia. I'm not correcting you. I'm just saying, just so people know, there is the Joe Kubert Art School's correspondence course is supposed to be pretty damn good.
yeah, but yeah. So I was looking at tons of stuff, model making, and because I
Hmm.
made like prosthetics and I'd make costumes and masks and stuff, and
Wow, wow, wow,
I
cool.
found there was an illustration course, like a 2-year illustration course, and I got the like 4-year model making course, but I chose the illustration course because I already had it. I didn't need any like exam results or any. That was just purely based on portfolio, and I got that like straight away. And there was a comics class in the second year, so I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's suffer through it. See if I
Wow.
can stick out college. And then like on my first day, I was like, this is the worst thing I could ever I ever decided to do.
Wow,
And
man.
I hated it. And that just pushed me to more making comics. So then I started making a web comic and called Masters of Lunacy, which you could probably still find. I actually didn't even finish it. There's still pages I need to post of it, but it was sort of a weird anthology style based on a bunch of like retro characters, and then you go on weird adventures, and it was real like dark humor, and but in this kind of like retro old school sort of, all these heroes living in a mansion kind of deal.
Wow.
And then after I got like about 48, 50 pages of that done, I printed it, and I kind of just had it. Like I tried to sell it and tried to flog it, but I had no one was into it. It was tiny. I had no sort of personal space or whatever, but I had that like ready to go when I was going into the second year of college for this comics course, which turned out to be like just crap. And I
Mm.
already had comics made. And so I was like, okay, I don't really need to be here. And then that's when I started sort of coming up with everything that made DEATHSWORN. So yeah, I've been making them for ages. I think I have one of my first comics ever around here, usually here,
Wow.
back and boarded. It's
Wow.
an
Let
X-Men
me get
book.
you on a. Let me get a full screen of you. Oh, that's one of the first comics you ever. Oh, that you made. Whoop! I took you out. Sorry, brother. I meant to focus on just you. I clicked the wrong damn thing.
Okay, there. It's like
X.
it was my take on Days of Future Past, I guess.
Oh, wow. That is really cool. You got to save that stuff. You got to save that stuff.
Yeah, it's cool.
That is cool as hell. So, for me, like I've been involved in comics for a while. I published my first comic when I was in my teens, and all the way going back to the Deathsworn days of the 1980s. And I was lucky; I got my comic distributed to comic shops through a independent comic book publisher, um, and that kind of started me off. But I'm amazed to see like Deathsworn as a first like serious published effort because it really is a beautiful looking book. I find myself saying this a lot to a lot of people, um, but it's very cool. A lot of people are excited about it.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
before that, it was out before. There was I used to have it in floppies. I got up to about 2 issues in floppies, and that was published by a small, not published, but it was put out by a small uh sort of publisher over here. And then I just didn't like how that was going. I didn't like the quality of the books. I didn't like the quality of the shipping. I didn't like where that label was going. And then a bunch of crap kicked up over here, and so it kind of became a point. Like I was happy to do comics for the longest time with nothing coming out of it, because I was just like, this is what I'll do before I get noticed. You know, this is what I'll do
You put the work in.
before someone comes along and goes, okay, you get, we're gonna pay you to draw comics or whatever, you know. And then it just turned into like, I have no love for like
Mm.
anything else other than my own stuff. Like this is just all I want to do.
And you're kind of a young guy too. Are you 22?
Yeah.
Okay, so this as a first effort, and not having the benefit of working with other great people to support you, to produce this pretty much on your own is pretty amazing. Although now you're kind of in the ComicsGate group, obviously, so you've got like a massive team of people that care about you, your work, letting people know about it, making sure it's successful, and already getting to 14,853 USD is excellent. I know you had some issues with people as well, because sometimes the rate displays as euro because you're over in Ireland, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes people kind of misunderstand, or they feel like, well, why is this a weird price? And that's just an extra burden that you have in selling your book.
Yeah. Well, the other
Otherwise,
burden is the conversion in the actual banks, because there's some banks, US banks, that just won't. I've heard from other Canadian creators that they've had the same problem, that banks will immediately assume that the transaction is suspicious and cancel it.
mm,
So you get backers that can't back, and then you have to go,
well,
okay, we'll go through PayPal, or we'll do this,
it's
or
just an extra challenge, and if you ever get to the end of your rope, just you can even ask me, and we'll put our heads together and see, maybe there's a way to help you somehow with that. But you're successful on your own, and it's great for you to be your own man with this and having this early success with this book. And this book, once people get it, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interest in book 2 for DEATHSWORN. Tell me about the story of DEATHSWORN. Like, what's the story all about? I've heard bits and pieces, but fill me in, man.
okay, yeah. So basically, it's a 80s inspired sort of gritty space fantasy. It takes larger than life characters like Masters of the Universe and mixes it with sort of like a John Carpenter grit humor.
Mm.
And so yeah, the Dark Stars are empire of sun-stealing solar vampires that are taking over the galaxy. They're not like, your Hollywood vampires that drink blood and scared of the light. These guys actually live on light. They live on solar energy. So they've amassed these gigantic space stations, sun stations that can wrap themselves around suns and sap them of all their energy. And they use that to enslave planetary systems. And in the wake of all this destruction, uh, most people bow to them, bow to their new leaders, and some rage a personal war against the forces that took everything from them. And that's DEATHSWORN. And so DEATHSWORN
That's what I
is
would do. That I would do
yeah.
the same thing. You too.
that
Well, that's what we're doing in
DEATHSWORN,
ComicsGate, right? That's what we're doing.
yeah, yeah. Dude, DEATHSWORN is yeah. He's just as anti-authoritarian as ComicsGate is. That's really the only alignment that I have, because I'm not political or anything. I just hate people who are taller than me talking down to me, you know.
Yeah,
And
you don't deserve it. I mean, look at this work. Just look at this work. It'd be enough if you were just doing the art, but all the design, the concept, the story behind it, your unique take on vampires. It's sci-fi fantasy, but it's grounded, but it's not overly grounded. If you look at a project like Guardians of the Galaxy, that was a fun movie and had very cool, unique elements to it, but it was also like almost excessively grounded. Like your character, is she totally human, or she's kind of not human? The gray girl with the healthy
oh,
body.
that's Tatiana Darkstar. She's the princess of the Darkstar Empire, the rebel princess that
Yeah.
sort of disagrees with what her dad and her brother sort of think and have been making of the empire. She thinks that they are destroying so much of the galaxy, there won't be anything left for them to live in when they get to the end of it. So
Wow. Look at the detail.
yeah, Deathsworn is a kind of mysterious outlaw. He's become sort of a known saboteur of the Dark Star Empire. And so he is kind of set on a mission to find a mystical ancient axe that he's told could bring an end to the Dark Stars. And he gets wrapped up in this adventure with a rebel princess and wild card pilot who's a kind of an ex-space pirate turned reluctant bounty hunter.
Tommy says, I love the solar eating vampires concept so much. And yeah, it really is very cool. It is very cool. And it's unique to me. I've never heard of anything like it.
Yeah, it's cool. They can actually, they have like relay stations up, so they can take a sun from a different solar system, from a different planetary system, and they can shoot its light across the galaxy and shine it on another planet.
Sheesh. So
And they
these
can
are
weaponize that as well. So they're pretty
these are some difficult enemies to have to deal with.
mm,
But your art is really detailed. It's really neat. There's so much really cool design. I'm sure you have inspirations from all sorts of places, but a lot of this does not look like stuff that I've seen before. You know,
yeah, well, I always love when people are always picking up on stuff. And some of it I'm like, yeah, totally. And then there's other
hey,
stuff
that's a
that
wrench. I've seen that wrench before.
yeah. That's I didn't know that umbrella guy before I made that, but that's my current reference to that umbrella guy. Is
I
he
got
the
it. Oh,
wrenches
very
when he
cool.
used to wrench people all the time.
Okay, very
I'm
cool.
retroactively making a umbrella guy.
Yeah, just put a little
Reference.
asterisk, editor's note, like the old Marvel comics.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if they had editor's notes in the new Marvel's comics? What those notes would say? Hey, I
I
just
think
want
some of
to
them do, and they're like really snotty or really kind of
like, hey,
useless.
guess where this nonsense came from? We have no idea. Yeah, this is very cool looking. It was like a hell of a lot of fun. You could easily see this as an animated cartoon. Um, I just keep thinking of Metalocalypse and Death Clock, just immediately associated with this because it was just such very cool, anything can happen kind of stuff. But your stuff is great, really great work, and you did that beautiful piece for Super Harem also, which really
Yeah.
that's fantastic. I got people really excited about that. Um, so tell me, how many pages is the main book?
I mean, the
Oh
main
wow,
book in total should be about 80 pages.
80 plus pages.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that's including back matter and stuff. So I guess the main story should be cutting into 70 something, I think. I've been
Mm.
adding extra pages to it. There's a like for stuff that I just didn't get to do on the floppies, I've been adding new stuff. And like on the floppies I had on the first issue there was like an open and crawl that set up, the Dark Stars and everything. Very much
How,
Star Wars. And
how
in
many?
this, I expanded that to like a 3-page epic. It's a big double splash page. It's really big stuff. Like,
Tommy is saying it's like something from the old heavy metal magazine. You're completely right, Tommy. This is something that could easily have been in heavy metal. You used to see those magazines, right, Carl?
to 2000 AD. That's why I always say that Americans go, it's heavy metal, and like European people go, it's 2000 AD.
Did they call it 2000 AD? Was it the same magazine?
No, no, no. It's just the style of that kind of weird anthology with a lot of kind of anti-authoritarian, sort of sexy, sort of aggressive shit in it.
Mm, very cool. How many pages were the comics that you already published that were floppies?
They were 20 pages, and that's another good reason about doing this is I got to expand those. So I only got up to about the first 2 issues before I called quits on that and decided to do it this way. So it's about the first 20 pages or the first 40.
Already done.
Yeah. And
That's
then
fantastic.
I think I added about 7 pages to the third one.
Now you're working digitally on a lot of this stuff?
Yeah, it's all digital. All the inks, colors, everything.
Wow. Really, really cool. Really nice looking book. DEATHSWORN, baby. We've all seen the
Yeah.
image and we all like it. Let's talk a little bit about the perks. I like your featured perk, Comic plus Ashcan plus Sketch Card. Wow. So what does that include?
So it's the main DEATHSWORN book one. It's the black and white 46-page Ashcan and a sketch card, which is I have some here. I've been getting through them because I have I think I have over 100 to do.
Good for you that you're ahead of the game, man. I mean, that's the way to do it.
So they're actually pretty neat because I had them custom made. So it's not just a lot of sketch cards. Artists will just cut up a piece of their Bristol board, their board that they
Oh,
draw on.
wow.
When
Look at
these
that.
are custom made, actual DEATHSWORN
Oh,
official sketch cards. So
guys,
that's
look
a
at that.
yeah. I'll
You know,
check
because
out
you
the photo.
just hold it like maybe next to like your face with the card a little bit, not over your eye. What I think is, if we get a good image of this, I'd love for you to use that as use that as an update that people understand like what this is. Maybe a little closer too. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
You
yeah,
gotta
it's
crop.
a you know
That's
cool,
cool.
glossy, kind of back
Sketch
cover,
card.
I guess, to it, and they all come like that. So yeah, and I've been trying to find ways to do some fun stuff with those. Like I've been doing these ones. I have to
Just
do
a
a special
just
one
a,
for
a suggestion on that, Carl. Maybe you want to number those in addition. It's relatively easy when you know how many there's going to be, like 1, 2, 3 of 200 or something. Um, just so people understand like how the uniqueness of it.
yeah.
Um, but they're beautiful. That's
So
fantastic.
that's 1 year. That's
Wow.
just two taped together.
Oh wow. That's cool. That is so cool. I love when we get to show people stuff they haven't seen before. Tommy had an interesting question. Have you done a lot of edits to the old pages other than the lettering?
Yeah, no, I updated all the artwork for better printing. Some of the colors I tweaked. All the letters, and it's crazy. Like the letter and like overhaul, you wouldn't think that you could add that much, but my letters were so flat and just to get by on the first one that
Mm,
when I was going back and finding ways to make them more expressive and yeah, really just getting into the art of lettering, before I never went crazy because I was like, just make it as comfortable as possible. And like, yeah, that's kind of your goal, it shouldn't take away from it. It should just be comfortable on the page. And then this time being more confident, it's really cool. I actually
fantastic.
really like lettering
Yeah,
because you get
really.
to change it as well. And it's not just changing the letters, it's like changing the writing of it. Going back and kind of
Yeah, you could look at it from a different perspective because your head is not so deeply in where it was when it was on the page, and you get to kind of edit yourself a little bit.
yeah, it is like that. But also just kind of going back and being like, I don't think that character would talk like that no more. Because these weren't things that I could have just banged out.
Mm.
These were things that had to I had to do in between stuff. And I've been at this for a while, and these characters have kind of grown a bit and changed a bit. So going back, I'm like, oh no, I know he would say this, or he'd say it like that, or whatever.
Carl, I
So
can.
weird. It sounds crazy saying that I know what they would say, but
No, no. I mean, you're the creator and the writer, and you're intimately involved with the characters. No, it's totally normal. They're supposed to take a life on of their own. You're not these characters, but these characters kind of come from you. You mix them with other characters. They have other life experiences, and then you think to yourself, you know what? This is what this character would say in this situation or do in this situation. And sometimes it's predictable. Sometimes it's not predictable. That's great writing when they take on a life of their own. That's very cool. I noticed the Kiss image behind you
yeah.
in the background. I'm looking for the Kiss DeathSworn crossover. That's cool.
There's some references to Kiss
Okay.
in the book. There's tons of references to just little
Would
stuff.
you be down for a Kiss DeathSworn crossover?
Definitely. I was gonna do like a kind of pin-up a while ago of them in a sort of 80s band. Like a
Mm,
cool sort of,
maybe
someone to have a keyboard guitar.
you could do them as Kiss, maybe. Well, hey, it's just interesting. It's obviously it's an interesting, very cool influence. Kiss is an amazing, iconic band, like iconic, the most iconic, maybe.
Yeah, there's some Kiss in it. There's some Danzig in it. There's some Misfits. There's Opie and Anthony references.
Mm.
There's just, and they're not like glaring. They're not made to just take you out, but it's just something that I guess I put in because it's in the back of my head, and I'm like, oh, that's sure what makes sense. If I pointed it out and told you, yeah, that's that. Obviously, the guy Nico, the Prince, he has a devil lock, the kind of Misfit style haircut, where you have that lock of hair hanging down in front of your face.
Mm.
So that comes directly from that. But
And so let me ask you: the signed, every comic is signed at every tier that you buy a physical. Um, each kind is a comic is signed by you.
yeah, so they're all going to be signed on the inside cover.
Are you All right, so every copy is signed. Are you using like I haven't asked people this, but to me, it's actually it's a little important. Have you decided what kind of pen you're going to use? Are you going to use like a silver ink? I used to use silver ink metallic pens, and they were cool as hell. They, and
I
they,
think,
they smell great too, but you have to be careful. Don't get
well,
crazy.
hopefully, I might be keeping. I mean, it depends when it comes down to collate and everything, and doing the overall design like package of the book. But I'm hoping to keep the inside cover of the main book white, and
Ah,
I'm
okay.
going to leave the inside cover of the Ashcan is most likely going to be black, but with some text and stuff on it. But I'm going to have like a white sort of bar left for me to sign. So I'll just use a black Sharpie. But
Okay.
I've signed covers of stuff before, and I just used a silver or gold Sharpie, and I
Oh,
never had a problem with it.
how cool. Yeah, the silver ink pens, the only problem with those metallic inks and stuff is they could take a while to dry and stuff.
Yeah, those sort of
Um,
watery, inky, like the paint sort of pens.
Yeah, I made a mess with them, but they were fun, and it looked like silver and stuff, so that was kind of cool. All right, so you have another tier. This is like really reasonably priced stuff. You're offering original artwork in a sketch card with a book for only $34 plus shipping. And we've seen the stretch cards. Those are the stretch cards you showed us now, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't think it should. It's sad because I did about 30 or 40 of them, I think, before I figured out I could order cards.
Oh wow. Oh, they're really cool.
So most of them are going to be Deathsworn universe characters. Most of them are just going to be Deathsworn because I can knock out a really good Deathsworn uh, pretty quickly. But sometimes I'll throw in to break it up, make it not so boring or monotonous. I'll throw in Princess Tatiana or the evil Emperor dude.
Very cool. Very cool. There's Sim saying hi. Hey Sim, great to see you, brother. And there's Edwin the Ace. Love Edwin the Ace saying hi, Mr. COMICSGATE. Great to see you too, man. Um, oh, those are fantastic. I love that you're also like, look, you're really putting together the absolute best possible package that you can as a human being with your resources, and it's going to be professional. It's going to be tight. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be fun to read, and obviously you're really just putting everything you can into this. And hey, it's appreciated, and you're going to get richly rewarded for it. People are going to give you that great feedback. They're going to love getting their books. I bet you can't wait for the day, Carl, when people are tweeting around their pictures of their copies of their books.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I hope
I
I
got
can
my
keep up that momentum of doing these kind of big. My like the goal of doing the Indiegogo would be that hopefully maybe every year that would be good pacing. But if every year it's like everybody gets their death sworn care package, that's the way I want to think of it. Like it's not just a book; it's like a whole thing.
the Death Sworn experience.
Yeah.
I think we need a patch or something saying "I am sworn." You saw me post that, but we need a Death Sworn fan club. We need Death Sworn tattoos. We got to get serious with this. Can't just be
Yeah.
fooling around. But we got
Well,
to get
I can just call them the sworn,
yeah,
and
the
I can
Sworn.
make a online oath, and you have to sign it like digitally. You have to sign up your name, and you get your number, Like we have a number of our members. We should do that. And the oath, you have to swear death to the Dark Stars.
I would swear death to the Dark Stars right now. I don't like those guys at all. They sound terrible.
Unless they're the princess and they have,
Yeah,
healthy
yeah,
chests.
yeah. Healthy young women are always appreciated, but not if they're evil too, because they'll lead you down the wrong path.
I'll
Or
bring in some evil ones
a
later.
little bit of evil. We'll get Wenger in for that. All right, 2 signed comics for only $44. That is a damn good deal as well, and it's pretty self-explanatory where that is. Um, what? Come on, DEATHSWORN, work with me, buddy. Let's see. 2 signed comics and 2 ash cans for $74. That's very cool. Oh, you're doing a sketch cover too. I don't think I even saw this. Sketch cover bundle. Let's see
So
what's in
yeah,
the
you get
bundle.
the sketch cover copy, which is book one. So it's like, this 80-page book with a
Hmm.
sketch cover on it, which is gonna have like an ink, bust drawn of DEATHSWORN on it. And then you get the whole other bundle as well. So you get another book one that comes with it. So you don't have to scruff up. You don't have to open. If you want to read it, you don't have to use your sketch cover. You can keep your sketch cover bagged and boarded or whatever you want to do with it. So you
And
don't have yeah. And the sketch cover also comes with the front cover is going to be blank. It's going to have the drawing on it, but the back cover is going to be the cover of the main book, but just the inks. So it's going to be the only book that has just the inks from that
oh,
cover.
cool. Very cool. I get it. That all the extra touches that you can do when you care about what the hell you're giving people and what you're doing, and you're putting a lot of care and a lot of time and a lot of attention to this. This is really like you are sworn to DEATHSWORN.
Yeah, man. It's my favorite place to be. I
Very
love it.
cool. Well, we love having you too. You're fun to have around. You're a cool guy. So don't be DEATHSWORN only. Make sure you keep socializing with us. We appreciate you. Guys, you can follow Carl on Twitter too. Did you use it in your handle?
Yeah,
You
it's
did not.
Carlo Rowe everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, just
Okay.
Carlo Rowe.
Carlo Rowe, and you can see the spelling just from his name where it's at right now.
Yeah.
So the ash can that you include with the sketch cover bundle is DEATHSWORN First Hunt, a 46 black and white page ash can plus a sketch card. So is that different than this DEATHSWORN?
Yeah, well, it's sort of there's some pages of it way down on the campaign. Uh it's a
We're
almost
getting
a prologue. It's kind of like a deleted scene, it's not part of
okay.
a story, but it's like a prologue deleted scene almost, and it's
That's
yeah,
in your
46 page, it's manga sized. It's gonna be black and white. It's gonna be like really cool, grungy. I want it to be like an underground, like indie zine meets sort of like high intense manga action. And
so
yeah, it's pretty
this
kick
is a
ass.
whole separate book.
Yeah. And
And
it's
right
about
now,
DEATHSWORN basically infiltrating a Dark Star space station, and he comes into like contact with an emissary of the Dark Star Empire called Razor, who's sort of sick, uh, sadistic, kind of gimpy guy. And yeah, it's gonna be cool because it's DEATHSWORN who only knows how to like his only way of dealing with stuff is just chopping it down, punching it. And he's put like against a guy who kind of likes getting punched, kind of likes getting.
excuse me for being a little blown away, but this is a whole extra book, a whole second book.
Yeah.
Why are you calling it an ash can? Is it because of the size?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to be sort of like there's a part of me that I love the sort of punk aspect of art, and like especially in comics and the comic scene and the underground art scene and stuff. And a lot of COMICSGATE books and COMICSGATE audience is more lean towards sort of big blockbuster taken over from the mainstream, and I love that stuff too. And so I kind of wanted to do both. I was like, this is a good chance to do both of these things. I'm gonna do the main blockbuster, event movie, and then I want to do this kind of weird,
Little prequel,
trashy,
yeah, extra thingy.
underground punk comic.
So this is going to have its own color cover.
Yep.
And what size is this going to be? The size of a
It's
comic?
about A4, A5 sized, A5. So it's a bit bigger. There's some manga that's A5 sized, but it's a bit bigger than your typical manga.
A typical manga, is that like 6x9? Sorry for not knowing, but like, is it bigger than a regular comic or smaller?
Let me see. Wait a second. I think I have
A
a
normal
manga
a
here.
normal
That's
comic is like 6 5/8 by 10 1/4.
yeah. So this is about the size of A5. This is an A5 manga, and a,
Okay.
and a comic is about. Okay, let me just grab whatever.
Yeah, man.
So that's a comic book size,
Yeah,
and
I
that's
just put it in front.
A5 sized.
Okay. So it's
So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a different format, and that changes a lot of the mechanics when you're making a story, because if you want to take advantage of the uh, turn and page equals a change scene mechanic, you kind of have to. It's the reason why manga is so well paced out, because they're always turning the page because they're so kind of little. It's just so compact in a little
well,
room.
I think this is being really under promoted. I mean, it's really interesting, and you doing a manga style DEATHSWORN that's like DEATHSWORN manga, really, that is a totally separate book, is interesting as hell. And if you're going to do all the pages at this level, I mean, this could be its own campaign. Um, it's so freaking cool.
Yeah, well, that's why I kind of took advantage of this already having so much, a good chunk of the main book already done. Is hopefully I can kick through that, but I
Would
have
you?
some I have some more pages of that. If
It's 46 pages. Would you be interested in offering this as a separate campaign for anybody who missed it after this ends?
maybe I have ideas for maybe not doing a campaign, I don't know, but doing a store, because of course it benefits me so much with shipping if I can get my numbers up. If I keep getting my numbers up and I have a set number of shipments a year that I can rely on, then I can get really good shipping. So the plan is that hopefully there's a store somewhere down the line where I can put these up and keep shipments going out throughout the year. But then I don't know if that's going to cut into Indiegogo. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to figure out. But maybe
I'd recommend looking into. I'm going to put it in the chat. Uh, Shopify. I haven't had a lot of time to research them, but they provide like web store services where they do help with things. I believe I know with collections, and charges and fulfilling e-commerce for individual stores for small and larger scale businesses. But they also, I'd be surprised if they didn't have some sort of a deal with shipping that can help. Let me look at the Carlo Rose screen. Yeah, this is a whole
yeah.
other book, man.
So yeah, this is just pencils here, some rough pencils, but here's some more
That's the
inks.
manga. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is cool. And it's black and white. We can't just sell 3 copies of this. You know what I mean? Like everybody who has DEATHSWORN, at least 80% of the people are interested in this book. Like I like your work, and I retweet you, and I'm on streams with you sometimes on Wenger's channel or whatnot, and sometimes on Ethan's channel, and we're not even. I mean, I think mostly we're not even aware of it. I haven't been aware of it, and I'm pretty involved. I think this could be its own campaign. That's another conversation, obviously, maybe even for another time. But guys, this is amazing. This is amazing.
That's the cover art.
Look how cool this is. I think you may have to call it like something as like DEATHSWORN manga, or something where the manga part is just kind of like obviously in the title to differentiate it. And I think the size differentiates it well too. Maybe mock up the cover. But boy, this looks really, really cool. Really, really cool. And black and white, you have a lot of flexibility with being able to produce it when it's black and white too, in terms of just printing it. Less so with color.
Oh
Because
yeah, and
color.
that's one of the things I actually have test prints of, because I was going to different printers and test
Oh,
printing
show the
stuff.
prototypes,
And
man.
This is just it's about what would have been the first floppy redone. Uh, so
I
these are
love that.
things that I could potentially
Yeah.
I could sell down the line, but these are the so this is
Wow. Come on. Look how
basically
cool that is.
so
Man,
this
that
is the
is
first
cool.
20 pages of DEATHSWORN in black and white
That is
printed.
so cool.
And it's printed on one of the reasons why I want to check it out is just checking out different paper, and this is on uncoated paper, so it gets that real cool. It's not
Mm,
sticky or it doesn't get that glossy kind of feel, you know. It's raw paper it's printed on, so it's
yeah.
close to like newsprint, but it's not.
It's quality paper. It's like
And
an offset.
yeah,
Offset.
maintains all its
Oh,
sharpness.
that is. People would buy this right now if it was. Can somebody buy this if they want to? Can they
Well,
send you
these
$25 plus shipping?
I only have 4 of these made, and I
Can
think that
can
when
we
it
buy it if we want to? Give you money?
there's a referral competition. So when the campaign ends, there's a referral competition. My highest referrals get my 4 highest get a copy of this,
Wow.
and there's only
I,
4 of these made. And I don't think I'm gonna do them the same way. I think I'm gonna make new covers for each one when I
mm.
like this again,
Well, if you ever
and
want
maybe
to,
just have the
this
cover
this
the old cover somewhere else.
this is for you and for anyone else in our ComicsGate group or anybody else in indie comics. Just to be honest, I care about indie publishers too. Like I have published more than 1,000 comics, and we've dealt with a lot of different formats and pricing and all sorts of stuff. And I'm just seeing so much potential in the work that you're offering here. As it's very cool, but it has a lot of commercial viability, and you've got a certain you've got that quality as talent that people are interested in you and the stuff that you're doing. It's just making people aware of it sometimes, and trying to plan out the products can be a little difficult to be able to really take advantage of it and just get people things that they would like and then have it be commercially viable to produce it. You're thinking through formats. That's not a thing a man should do by himself, I would say. So you've got me available, but you've got other guys available too. We could brainstorm on it one night or whatnot, but we got to get that Ashcan book, that manga book, out to more people. It's very, very cool looking. I think I meant the manga campaign. If you did it right when this was completed, just as this, you'll do at least half, if not more, of whatever you did with DEATHSWORN. So it's just ideas, but I just get caught up in the publishing side of things. This toy, as if that wasn't cool enough, you're actually making toys, your own toys.
Yeah, I have them here. Oop.
You got to see these freaking toys. Would you make toys for other people for money?
It's funny. It's one of those things about being in a community. The second you find a way to do something super cool,
Yeah,
immediately everyone's like, "How do you do that? Can I do that? Can you get that done for me?"
yeah. All right, you're gonna show a toy. We all love toys.
Yeah, it's on here. Oh, sorry. Wait, I don't mean to
I was just
do
gonna put it on your screen.
screen
Oh no, it's
share.
on your screen. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do.
So these are the toys. I didn't sculpt them or cast them. I just painted them.
So, what are these, like other repurposed toys?
No. These are 100% new cast. The DEATHSWORN one's pretty still, and then the
Who? So
Tatiana has.
who sculpted these toys? Who
My
sculpted
friend
this?
is a model maker. She actually did the model making course that I
This is
didn't
not
bother
the
doing.
this is not the accountant that works at McDonald's, is it?
No,
I
I
know we
was
got a
trying to
little history.
talk to about taxes too. No,
Yeah, this is a different person, right?
no, that's my idea of like romantic conversation. It's like how do I get away with taxes? But yeah, those are the boxes that come in. So yeah, she sculpted the
How is this possible? I'm looking at these things like this
well,
is
it's all hand
fantastic.
done, and that's why these are so kind of limited. These boxes are I hand cut them, hand glued them, uh, inserted the plastic window. That's a like proper acetate plastic window
Yeah,
that
no,
covers it.
it really is. The packaging
When
is
you
that's extreme. That is
so
just
when
super
there's
cool.
sign in the bottom. Boop, 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 oh.
So the toys, you already sold out of the toys.
Yeah,
Oh
well,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
only I only put 3 up because they're crazy limited to do these, and I'm looking into ways of expanding them. making them bigger, making them easier to make. You know, maybe not putting so much paint detail on them. Instead of painting them so it comes in like a proper toy, it has its little
Mm.
wire
Oh,
that keeps them
that's
in.
nuts. That is so nuts.
And yeah, but hopefully I can expand it and make them bigger, make them sort of easier to pump out. And I want if I think there's potential to do a campaign for that. I think it might be smaller because it's not a comic and they'll be kind of a pricier item. But with that, I hope to do mini comics with them
Mm. Oh
and
my God, you
stuff
have
like mini
very
comics that
cool
come in the
ideas.
box and other stuff like I want to do blind box figures too. They'll be super easy to do and they'll be pretty fun. So they might be a later campaign thing
What's a blind
where
box figure?
it'll be like you ever get them like what were they called? Muscle, where they were like they were like 4 centimeter tall. It was
Yo,
all one
yeah.
color, like a weird. It'd be sculpted. They'd always have like a big head, and they'd be in a funny pose, and it would just be sculpted like usually it's rubber or be plastic.
Is this
Uh,
self-taught that you're making toys like this?
well, I didn't make them. I didn't sculpt them or cast them or anything. That's my friend. She makes
And
them as cast
and
them.
you painted them.
Yeah,
Okay.
painted them, and but I made all the boxes and stuff. I came up with the way. Originally, I was just selling them in a bag. You get buy a plastic seal bag, throw it in it, and then you get the card, put it over, staple it, and you're like, okay, cool.
Well,
It sort of looks punky,
I
it
mean,
looks cool, but
with the
the
ass.
boxes are pretty cool.
Oh, hey, Vinny. Vinny's just saying hi real quick. Great to see you, Vin. Vinny Tartamella. We love Vinny,
Hey
and
man,
we love his book, City of Venus. And Ghostly Manor is going to be closing soon, his Halloween book, so people should check that out too. Um, just amazing stuff, Carl. Amazing. Maybe you could, if you made the figure and you put it in like a container that was like a printed box, but not an acetate. I mean, obviously, wouldn't be quite as cool as the acetate or whatnot, but maybe some of that is possible because it's just I know people do this stuff. I've seen people do like uh, model kits and all sorts of stuff that's customized, not in ComicsGate. I've seen it, outside of that, but still, really, really, really cool stuff. And that's why you sold out of them immediately. So you can't offer more of those really realistically, even at a higher price.
no, because again, with that, I'm playing it real safe. Trying to play a lot of this sort of conservatively when it comes to actually getting them out and shipping them. So
Mm.
uh, essentially, there is my personal one and a replacement one left. And so that's just in case anything messes up or screws up. Just
Will you
in
just send
case
me
it gets
your personal one so that
safe
I
is
have one?
safe.
And can you send me your personal one so I have one and you do not?
Well, like these are super limited. What if DEATHSWORN blows up and someone gets these? If
Uh,
you missed out on the toys,
the right
though,
answer
you
to that
can.
question is no. No. What are you talking about? No. It's mine. What are you,
If you
nuts?
missed out on the toys, there are acrylic standees available in the add-on section.
Oh,
And
jeez.
so,
Acrylic standees. You have everything. Hold on. Let me get it.
yeah, so these are really cool. So ooh, these ones are really stiff. So
They are really cool. They are really
I think
cool.
this one's about 14 centimeters, I think.
I don't want to give you
And so,
anything but maybe a. Oh, it does say Death Sworn on the bottom. Okay,
oh
good.
yeah.
Good, good. Oh,
So,
okay. Oh my
yeah,
God.
see,
Oh, look how
and
you designed that.
these stands, and
My
they're
God.
it's sweet because it's pretty flat on. So if you can have them over your desk, over anything, looking down at you on your computer, they're
It's
really cool.
fantastic.
And then there's a Tatiana one as well, and she's the
Are
same
these are they
base.
difficult to make, the acrylics?
No, because these aren't handmade. I ordered these.
All right. How did you
I'd have to
could
have
you
like a laser CNC machine and everything to make these.
is it a website where somebody would go to make something like that?
Yeah. There's a ton of them. Uh, it's apparently it's a huge thing in, I think, Japan. A lot of Japanese artists do it.
Wow.
And so there's a ton of Chinese ones where you order like, crazy bulk. I found a place in Europe that does them pretty well. And there's this 10 place I get stickers from and get other stuff from. So
Interesting, man. Really interesting. Do you recall the website name? I would put it
Yeah,
in the
it's
chat.
Zap Creatives.
Okay, Zap Creatives. If I ever do a typo, guys, sorry, but it's zapcreatives.com. People should check this out because look how beautiful that work is. Look how cool that is. And I like the design, but realistically, I mean, you could put any logo on the bottom and then have a key character come up. And man, it would look cool. Really, really
Yeah,
cool.
and then you're sort of when you're designing that kind of artwork, it's good promo artwork. So you have to kind of make some really bold stuff with your character, something
All
that
right.
shows off some
I,
personality.
I can't resist asking, do you think my College of the Dead guy would look cool like that?
Yeah, I think you'd have to change up the pose a bit. I think you could
Okay.
keep a similar pose, but you'd have to where he's so foreshortened
Yeah. Okay.
coming towards you, if you kind of lean them up a bit and made it more sort of vertical, because you'd have to make that smaller. These
Is
things are taller than they are wide, so you'd
okay.
have to make that smaller to fit into it, and so you'd lose that sort of impact. But
Well,
yeah, you could totally do that.
maybe find some art, or maybe I do this. I do the cover of book 2 with just these dudes and do
Oh,
that.
you know what you can get? You can get, all right. You see these bases here? So these come.
Oh, let me get back to focusing on you.
Here's another reason why these are great. Because when you're shipping a toy takes up so much space that you get into a whole different shipping category. But when you're shipping these, they're flat. So they come in two pieces like this.
Oh,
And they
okay.
actually come, when they come from the factory, they come taped up. So they come actually with all their plastic protective stuff on it. So
Oh,
because they
so
get so fingerprinty when you're moving them and stuff, so they get shipped and you don't have to worry about scratches or
so
damage on them. But
you don't
what
you
you
don't you wouldn't assemble that like you
no
would
no
as a
no I
consumer, but when you're reshipping it, you don't have to assemble it.
no I just put it in a plastic baggie just with all the tape on it, slot it on top. The plastic is just there to and make sure that they're flat, they're not overlapping each other, so you get down on a shipping, so it's not as tall. But
It's
what you
fantastic.
can get though is instead of getting this part here, you can get order ones that instead of that slotting into just a regular stand, it slots into a LED base that
Oh, a
shoots
light up
light up
base.
through it, and so it lights up the image. And
This
so
stuff
you can
is
make your image sort
crazy.
of semi-transparent, and the light will shoot up through the plastic and light up the plastic.
That's fantastic, Carl. It's so interesting. I really appreciate you showing us kind of all this extra stuff. I think it's important people get to see it because yes, it's listed on the campaign, but unless you see it physically in person, that we could do a show just talking about your action figures. 'Cause they're that cool and they're that interesting because it's like, yeah, I know they're just sculpted model kitty things or whatnot, but now do they have articulation? They have articulation and they have like, do they move like the arms and legs move and stuff?
The That was the goal, was to do that with at least the arms when it started out, and then the DEATHSWORN ones, because my friend was kind of learning this as she was doing. I said the DEATHSWORN one is really just a figurine. He's just stood there, but he has lots of cool shading and stuff.
Oh my God.
And
It's so
Tatiana one
freaking
has
cool.
she has like simple plug-in arms, so she has arms that just simply go like that. So you plug it in, and you can shape it.
It's such uh it's just so freaking cool. It's just so
Well,
freaking interesting.
this is the reason why I want to do them again, and I want to size them up a bit. Not this big, but this is a copy. This is how far my friend got along with making these. This is a copy of one of her college projects. Oh, sorry, you can't see because it's sunny over here.
Okay.
Sorry,
That's
it's
okay.
sunny.
Well, maybe just turn it a little bit and it'll reflect differently. Turn the figure a little bit, maybe.
So it's a big Jaguar guy.
Oh my God.
That's how
That
far
is
she's come
cool.
with it. But this guy has a swivel hip. Oh, sorry.
James is saying
She
Death
used
Thorn's
magnets.
looking.
She used magnets in this guy.
Yeah.
So he has like a ball and swivel hip joint and stuff.
Oh my God.
And yeah, she was using magnets in his arms and his head to keep it on. I wouldn't be able to do that with shipping, but we'd still be able to make these ones a lot more articulated and stuff. So that's the reason why I really want to go back. And instead of these coming out white, we're gonna dye the pieces so they they require less paint, and maybe go for a really, really retro-y style so I don't have to do that much paint application. Like a wash would be fine just to get into those gritty, the you know,
You know,
into the muscle
we have
stuff a
someone in
bit.
the family who is a professional figure designer for
Oh
Todd
yeah.
McFarlane's toys. Yeah, Vinny. And Vinny is very generous with his time and with his advice and with everything. He's great people. And I'd really suggest maybe you guys, even just a private live chat or something like that. Just talk about it together and talk about what some of your options might be. And get some of his feedback too, because he's been there with all the prototypes and all that other stuff. Um, and just be interesting. If you guys want to have a show together talking about custom figures and stuff like that, I'll reach out to Vinny and see if he feels like if he's interested in doing it. But it's so completely interesting. And who also has a history with I believe model making and cosplay and stuff like that is Von Klaus from Monster MD. I don't know if you guys ever discussed it or not, but he used to have a company where he designed custom cosplay things, I
Yeah.
believe.
Naruto
Which,
shit as well.
yeah, I don't know. It's funny because, like, I'm 49. I've been around. I've done a couple different things, but I'm always fascinated to see people who do comic stuff, but also have these other interesting careers, especially ones that relate. Oh, that's cool, Vinny. Thank you. Hit me up anytime, Carl. He's doing streams now too, so you can do a DEATHSWORN stream on Vinny's channel, and you could possibly be talking about figures as well on his channel. I would host it, or you guys host it. I just think it's interesting. I'd love to see it, and I'll definitely share the heck out of it. But yeah, Vinny has some beautiful designs and whatnot. He just has there's so much that Vinny has done in so many different disciplines over the years professionally that he's just got lots and lots of stuff. It's very interesting. Well, these tiers all look great. Each one of them, like I kind of look at the thoughtfulness of the tiers too. Like sometimes it's in the pricing, sometimes it's designing about what the extras you're getting. But you're obviously putting a lot of work and a lot of heart into this book and into each of these tiers. They really are conservative with what you're asking and what you can deliver. You're going to be shipping in March 2020, and everything is looking pretty much on time for that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Excellent, man.
Yeah, I've even brought on a flatter so I can get through these pages faster.
Good
And
for you. Good for you, man. Good for you. Some people would just not bother because of the expense, or they wouldn't bother because they figure, I'll just do it myself.
yeah, no, there is nothing I hate more than flatting.
Well, that's great that you can delegate it. And flatters are people too. And just, we need flatters. We need everybody that puts a piece of the comic together. We need them, and we appreciate them. Well, all right. I'll go through my campaign quickly too, and ask me any questions you have on this, Carl, or anything else you want to know about it. My campaign is the College of the Dead campaign. It's a zombie apocalypse series. It's taking place on a college campus, which is the first time I've ever really seen that. And that was my idea. Basically, was I wanted to see a zombie apocalypse take place on a college campus and see the teachers and the students deal with it. And I hired a great writer to help me get this done, and the fantastic artist Javier Aranda, and it's 140 pages. It's completely done. We're going to see. I ordered 2 more sets of prototypes with some minor variations because, like you, I like to tinker with everything. Like it's got to be perfect. But we're getting those actually Friday and Tuesday, respectively, of next week, so we can kind of finalize it and then just choose the best configuration and print, and ship. So we're going to be shipping next week. I'm going to leave the store open a couple of more weeks at least, if not a little bit longer. I promised people that I would. And it's at collegeofthedead.com, also on Indiegogo. The links are in the description. You can actually get to the listing and see all the artwork. We've got 12 pages of sequential artwork here, so you can kind of see how the story goes and really get a feel for what the book is. And then we've got the cover as well, colored by Kyle Ritter, colorist for Starblades and artist on Starblades and Cyberfrog. And this is the cover of College of the Dead Book 2. We're almost done with Book 2, actually, which is fantastic. All the art's done. It's just preparing the files. I want this to be an ongoing series. I want to do a lot of these and really deal with these characters, but introduce new characters. I love the idea of a zombie apocalypse. I think it's really cool because it's like a war zone and people and their personal connections as well in it. My featured tier is the comic book with the Ashcan. And the comic book is, again, that 140-page book. But the Ashcan, my Ashcan is a 100-page separate book. And what that is it's the full script and writing from Stefan, as well as his photo references for the artist. And then it's the artist Javier's layouts, the rough layouts of the entire book before we approve them. And then I had him go ahead and finish the rest of the art of the book. So you really get to see like how we made this book. And Stefan is also a writing professor, and his writing is just very clear and interesting to follow. So it's going to be very educational as well. And the College of the Dead comic book by itself is just the $25 tier. And we also did a tier that includes the Ashcan, the comic, as well as an art book. And as you can see, like our panels are all the same size. So the art book is 8.5 by 8.5 in black and white. It's 260 pages. And it's also printed on a really nice paper. And it's black and white, and it shows the art before the lettering was added to it at a full size of like 8.5 by 8.5. So it's actually very cool. There's also, since these prototypes exist, there's a video in the description. You can see me showing the prototypes, and you get to actually see the physical books of what they're looking like. And I like that everybody is just so into producing and production in what we do. And look, it's all about producing good books and getting them to people. Guys, everybody in the chat, Vinny, thanks for jumping in on us. James, thank you so much. It was great to see Crystal McGee. Tommy, I always appreciate you. You're always in the chats. You were great. And Sim is great. Edwin the Ace, we love you, brother. You're always showing up. John Hayes, his work is really, really fantastic. John you're going to see a lot of great stuff coming from John. Just keep an eye on John too. And Carl, thank you so much for taking the time, making yourself available. It was great talking to you. And you follow up with Vinny. If he's not going to do a toy show with you, I'm doing a toy show with you. It's interesting as hell.
Okay.
Everybody,
Thanks.
back DEATHSWORN. You can find the link in the description if you haven't already. If you have, take another look. Make sure you're getting the Ashcan. People have to see that Ashcan book. It's not really an Ashcan. It's a whole manga book. It's amazing. So check that out.
And if people already backed and they just saw the sort of sketch cards or acrylic standees today, I have it's hidden links. I have special links to give out for people who are already backed that wants to add those add-ons on without any shipping or anything.
You know what, Carl?
So,
if you want to send me those links for the hidden links, and I'll post them in the description a little bit later today.
well,
It's
I
up to
don't
you.
want them out because then
Oh,
people can just buy stuff without paying shipping.
oh, okay. Thank you
So
for
it's for people who are already backed that can't
okay.
access the add-ons anymore. If you want to access the add-ons and you're already backed, just
Ah,
hit me up on email or through the Indiegogo campaign, and I'll send you out the links.
I get it. Well, that's very, very fair. Back DEATHSWORN Book 1 and Back College of the Dead. Great talking to you, Carl. Thanks again, everybody who came and joined us. And we will be talking to you again soon. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Welcome, my friend.